visually looking at the object on the ground, you could tell that it was extraordinary and anomalous. It was not human.
How close did you get?
Well, I was a helicopter pilot, and I operate with 150 foot to 200 foot long line. So I got within 150 feet of this object.
What did you see?
I saw an egg, a white egg.
Was there any visible propulsion system on it?
No, not what we know. There's no engine, there was no thermal signature. I was operating at night when I finally came in to pick it up. So I'm working under night vision goggles at the time. And it was quite clear. I flipped them up, flipped them down, and looked at it a couple of different ways.
How did you know that egg-shaped object was non-human in origin?
Now, visually, after seeing all kinds of things in my past, it was clearly something that was ridiculously looking. It's inconsistent with anything I'd ever seen before. I can also tell you that the reaction by my team, we all knew we were dealing with something extraordinary.
And at no stage were you ever subsequently told that the craft was of non-human origin?
I will tell you that during this process, over the last couple of years, it's been confirmed to me by ranking members of the UAP task force that what we were working with that night was in fact NHI, and it was not a unique experience.
Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. Blake Cousins along with my brother Brent and special guest. We've got him on the phone, an emergency phone call with Michael Schratt, aerospace historian. What are we going to find out in the next couple days with regards to a crash retrieval? We got Jake Barber coming forward, an eyewitness. Dr. Greer calls him the knock. We've heard about the knock for quite some time, but now he's open source. The public's watching him. Everybody's going to be laser focused on what comes up in the next few days. We've got historical pictures. We've also got these recreations of what we hope to see in the uncovered footage that the world's about to see, but I got a feeling it's not going to match up to these representations, these revisualizations through special effects. This is maybe hope this is what we're going to get, but we highly doubt it. And some of these historic files that Michael Schratt has been talking about for over 2 to 3 decades, the egg-shaped UFO. We've got schematics. We've got visuals of the first-hand eyewitnesses. Is this what Jake Barber discovered? Let's roll it right now and bring in Michael Schratt coming in from Los Angeles.
Michael, what's your take on the new revelation with the knock, the whistleblower that just kind of dropped? As soon as Greer said it was happening, it's happening. What's your thoughts? What he said in News Nation just a couple days, and what's your opinion on the information that might just come in by Saturday?
Well, good to be with you, gentlemen. I thought it was very interesting when he mentioned the configuration egg-shaped craft. That tracks with the legacy Leonard Stringfield cases, the crash retrieval cases from the first-hand military witnesses. So there was a correlation there.
You know, we're looking at some of the historical representations. It almost looks like an almond-shaped craft surrounded by military personnel. It looks like they're about to retrieve it. These first-hand eyewitnesses, when they speak about the egg-shaped craft, do you believe they're ET in nature, or is it military grade, reverse engineered?
Well, you know, this is the part that gets very critical, and it really is the $64 million question. Are we looking at non-human intelligence, or are we looking at something man-made? Now, after 60, 70, 80 years of black budget funding, unlimited spending, no checks and balances, classified USAP programs, there's no telling what the military-industrial complex is capable of doing now. It mimics the form, fit, and function of actual ET vehicles. So before we jump on any bandwagon saying that something might be extraterrestrial, we need to exhaust every terrestrial explanation first.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think some of these craft are being reverse engineered, maybe not necessarily even anything to do with extraterrestrial technology. Maybe technology that's been around for millions of years. Maybe it's been here all along, but it's a fact. These egg-shaped UFOs have been spotted over 70 years now, and now maybe in the next few days, or in the next within basically 2 days from now, Jake Barber and News Nation apparently is going to reveal something that the world has not seen before. I have mixed feelings about where this is being presented on this news channel here. Brent, your thoughts?
Yeah, when it comes to protection and security for yourself, I think you gotta like drop it. The truth will set you free. If you're gonna like slow drip this information, and then I'm getting a little skeptical. Is it out for the money or the entertainment? I think if you have smoking gun, you need to get it out. You need to get it out wide, and then you can't stop it. It'll be a tidal wave at that point, and that's I think how disclosure is gonna happen. I wish Barber just came out and just dropped it. Everything, not just this slow drip.
Yeah, I think we're getting the tip of the iceberg. Your thought process on that, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's 2025. This is the final curtain call on all this. So we need to pull the trigger on this. There's no more waiting, no more delays. We're not going to do a 20-year trickle-down process. Let's get rolling on this. That's my thought.
Well said there. I think you could hear the passion in Michael's voice here, and give us a big thumbs up right now in this live premiere. We appreciate everybody from around the world tuning in. I know it's kind of everybody's getting excited about what apparently might be happening, but I got a feeling it's going to be what we've always got from the military, and these leaked videos, they really don't amount to much. The go fast, the gimbal, the tic tac, they just didn't really show us what the American people want to see. We want to see something unconventional, nothing mundane. And I got a feeling this video that's going to come out, it's going to be mundane. Are you getting excited about this possible revelation of a new video? And are we going to see the smoking gun, Michael?
I'm excited, but I also know that I want to approach it with the thought process of being cautionary, right? Because I don't put anything past these guys. Like what is being procured, built, and test flown basically at Air Force Plant 42. I don't put anything beyond these defense contractors. Obviously, when something's completed, they fly to the test site in Nevada, and then things are test flown there. But what goes on at Air Force Plant 42 could look like an extraterrestrial spacecraft, and you would never know the difference. That's how good it is now. That is how they've been able to duplicate the form, fit, and function of these vehicles.
Do you think that these black budget programs, the deep black budget with the technology, that they're actually trying to make these craft look extraterrestrial and has nothing to do with function or dynamics, aerodynamics?
Well, I mean, if you look at how the configurations of the vehicles have changed over the decades, so you've got saucers, you've got cigar-shaped craft, you've got dish-shaped craft, you've got boomerangs, you've got chevrons, you've got platforms, you've got different configurations, but one of the underlying foundation configurations are the egg-shaped craft, and so that's why it's very timely today.
It's amazing because we're thinking people need to be aware of the conception that a lot of this stuff is reverse engineered or a black operation and nothing to do with extraterrestrial. And right now it seems that they're kind of jumping to the extraterrestrial nature. You could hear it in Jake Barber's voice that he thought this would be nothing that would be able to be replicated by human. Brent, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's all kind of interesting because people do make assumptions, and we're just looking at the drone fiasco that's all happening last month, and it's still active, and the news media has kind of clamped down on that story. But I think News Nation has been like pushing the narrative forward that, hey, these drones are extraterrestrial, they're not ours, and there's something otherworldly. And I think that's a far jump to go to that conclusion. In my opinion, these things look like something conventional, something that we'd make, maybe a foreign adversary or ours. And there's some sort of psyops that's happening with regards to the whole drone issue. That's what trips me out. Like, we're looking at this, and Jake thinks it's otherworldly, but hey, Michael, you've been sharing these stories and information from firsthand eyewitnesses where we're seeing the egg-shaped UFO from 1947 earlier and throughout the future. And this is exactly what we're looking at. I think these are reverse engineered.
Yeah, they have human components, the basic engineering behind them. Michael?
Well, For example, if you look at 1964 Socorro, New Mexico with Lonnie Zamora, he was chasing a speeder. We're not going to go through the whole case here, but when he gave up chasing the speeder, he eventually went over some rocky hill areas and some low-lying bushes, and he came across about an 18-foot long egg-shaped craft that had landing gear that looked very man-made. It had an exhaust nozzle at the bottom of it. When the two humanoid-looking beings went up inside the craft, he heard a banging noise like someone was closing a hatch, and then there was a few seconds later, there was a second banging noise like a latch was closed. And then there was this high-pitched noise, and then a blue-colored flame came out of the bottom one. Now, if anyone actually thinks that's an extraterrestrial spacecraft, I got a bridge to sell you on the San Andreas Fault.
Yeah, it sounds like one of those kind of clunker automobiles that they're squeaky.
You don't need an exhaust nozzle. Aliens don't need that. And we have been fooled. We have been sold a bill of goods for decades. For literally 80 years, we've been sold a bill of goods, while these guys, the defense contractors, are just having a knee-slapping good time, thinking that we're all being fooled, and a lot of us are. But those who have a critical eye look deeper to the underlying foundations of where the budgetary money is going, the classified programs, Air Force Plant 42. We know what they're doing. We know what's going on. They can't fool us anymore.
Yeah, and they really can't. And I think we're on to them, because the whole point of disclosure, the disclosure aspect of everything is full disclosure, transparency, and this trickle down through a network where this should be presented by the government. If this is legitimate stuff that we're about to see, why does it come on a channel like News Nation? And if News Nation has privy to some of this footage, why not just drop it all at once? Because I think they're developing a narrative, in my opinion, to create this military industrial complex. Like, let's build up the military to defend ourselves against this unknown threat. But in a rollout like this, disclosure needs to be rolled out immediately. Once you got the information, don't hold on to it. Just drop it. The way Third Phase of Moon's been doing this for over 15 years, when we receive videos, UFO videos from around the world, and speak to eyewitnesses, we're not waiting to present. We're dropping it that day. That's what we've been doing. And I'm just kind of confused on how this is rolling out here.
All I know is what's happening. We got a new administration coming in. President Trump's going to be there in 4 days from now, and he's saying he's going to address the drone issue. And then we got these whistleblowers, all kind of it's a culmination. Maybe this is all kind of a psyop pre-plan, maybe for soft disclosure or some sort of other distraction. Who knows? This could be a distraction. And I do believe with the videos that we're going to see coming from News Nation won't be the smoking gun. Hey, I'm hoping that's the case. We're all hoping for that. And we're going to have fun with Michael, and he understands that when that all happens. But that'll be party time. But we'll see if it is disclosure.
Here's the thing, guys. We all hope that President Trump will be forthcoming on this issue. The drones are the least of the issue. We need to go back to the legacy cases from the 40s and the 50s and the DOD and what the defense contractors were doing and what quote-unquote reverse engineering programs. We got to get that stuff. Now, the problem we're running into, though, is it's very debatable whether President Trump has a high enough security clearance and whether he's been read into these programs. That's the thing. He's just a temporary employee. He'll be gone in 4 years. And it's debatable whether he will be briefed on these to the level that we need to see them.
Well, from some of the history that we're seeing in recent times, not going back too far, just maybe 48 hours ago, we're seeing that maybe the incoming administration going in a direction that might not be the proper way for disclosure. And again, we're wishing our president that's coming in to say what he said he was going to do. We spoke to Tim Burchett right there in D.C. He met with Donald Trump. Moments later, Tim Burchett said that Trump's all on board and disclosure is going to be revealed. But
let's hope so. Did he give a timeline?
I don't know. I think we got to buckle up for the next week. I think a lot of things are going to be dropping.
I think we're all waiting. We want to see it. I mean, it's been way too long now. It's just been way too long now. And I think people are ready. I mean, there is a palatable bloodlust out for disclosure right now. It's very clear. It's very clear. People are ready. They want to see the truth, and they don't want a spin on it. They don't want a certain narrative. They want the physical evidence, the hardware, the bodies, the debris, the photograph, the motion picture film reel. They want that kind of evidence. Anything short of that, gentlemen, and we'll be spinning our wheels the next 50 years.
In your opinion, Michael, and I think I want to ask everybody joining us, and if you could give us your comment and your opinion, what is a true disclosure? Is it being enlightened, knowing that we're not alone and that there's something that is like magic and now we see it for the first time? Or is it the technology behind it to help the world? Which comes first? Is it the technology that could benefit, or is it just the knowing of disclosure?
People are not going to believe this until they see it on TV with their own eyes or in real time. And I'm talking about physical hardware. We need physical hardware in the form of actual recovered extraterrestrial debris, craft, and ET bodies. And anything short of that, people aren't going to believe it. And they're going to be saying, why are you interrupting my I Love Lucy reruns? Why are you interrupting that with this? They're never going to believe it until it's the actual hardware. That's where we're at right now. That is where we're at right now. We've been spoon-fed this ridiculous milquetoast information for 80 years now. People are ready to bite down on the real information, and that's what we need from our president, from our elected officials, from the Pentagon, and from the defense contractors.
Blake just asked that question. I'm kind of 50-50 on either disclosure or the technology. What do you want best? And I'm not sure. Maybe I'm leaning more towards a 60% technology because I want my Millennium Falcon already where I can do it. That's all I want. So, but then the disclosure is going to be that kind of enlightening experience that, hey, we're not alone in the universe. And now we finally have the most profound question for the human race answered. So it's a toss-up.
Well, let's get the information first, and then we'll move over to the technology. Let's provide a foundation, a historical foundation of how all this was kept under wraps, where all the money went, Murder Incorporated, how many people were unalived over this. What about all the thousands of lawsuits that will come from all of this? That's stuff that has to be sorted out. That could take years, or it could be very quick. Very interesting to see how this will pan out. But if we don't get to these legacy witnesses before they all pass away, I mean, it'll be case closed. It'll be cover up complete in the eyes of the government.
Well, we're looking at something that's going on in the next couple days, and we're going to find out. And again, I'm not holding my breath. From what we've seen of these leaked videos coming in from the military, very, very underwhelming compared to the public. The public is where the disclosure is going to come from. And I think like what Michael's stating here is these legacy eyewitnesses. And who knows, a lot of these people might still have the material in their hand. It's in somebody's closet, in their chest, in their basement, locked away somewhere, and it's just got to come out. But if you're going to come out with it, you just come out in a way that's big and not trickle it out. And Third Phase Moon, we're not shying away from going big. If you're out there and you got something, let's rock. Michael?
It's in the hands of the underground vaults of the defense contractors and the national labs like Los Alamos and Sandia. They've got this stuff. CIA headquarters, they've got this stuff. Mm-hmm. Yep.
People work there right now, and if they're listening,
of course,
and it's an illegal operation, they could take pictures and video of it tonight and send it to us.
Ultimately, yes, they're going against the Constitution. They absolutely are, and they bypass the Constitution, and that's where this crime element comes in here. Yes, I mean, we're dealing with the big issue here. Remember Timothy Good's book called Above Top Secret. The name where he got that name from for his book is because during World War II, this subject matter was classified above top secret. It is the highest classification secret in the United States government. That's where I got the name for the book.
Incredible. It's also the name of a documentary that Third Phase of Moon produced. But insane. Well, it's really an amazing conversation. We wanted to get Michael Schratt on just for a few moments so we could share an impromptu discussion. I'm hoping everybody enjoyed it. We're going to be having more updates in the next 24 hours, same time, right here at Third Phase Moon. So stay tuned for that. Any last words, Michael?
I'm hopeful. I'm skeptical, but hopeful, and maybe we can all move forward with this. It's time. It really is time. And they know that the technology could save the world. But there's a few people up at the very top, a small group, that are controlling this. They're the masters of the universe, and they won't allow this technology to trickle down to everybody else. Just as a quick example, I know we're short on time, but the first flight of the 747 was back in 1969. That's 55 years ago. We're not flying any faster now than we were 55 years ago. What's wrong with that picture? And it just goes on from there. So we've got the technology. Even Gordon Cooper said that we're 100 years behind where we should be. So we know they've got the technology, but they just won't let it trickle down to us. And so that's what we want to change within the next 48 hours. We'll see what happens.
Keeping fingers crossed, everybody. And again, we're just sharing with you some impromptu imagery of what we might see in the upcoming video. But again, this is just representation. We wanted to get a visual on it, and maybe it might keep up with, real life is stranger than science fiction. So let's hope for the best. Everybody, be safe out there. Blake Cousins, along with my brother Brent. We'll see everybody next time. Thanks, Michael.
You don't know that at the very top, that whole project is being run illegally.
These are brand new witnesses, and they've got bombshell information to talk about.
These technologies are unsanctioned. They are illegal operations, and this can be proven in any court of law.
It's like, wow, nobody's coming after us. We're gonna do this until we can get away with it.
They would have so much control over everything if they had that.
If this information was all released, it could fall into the wrong hands.
They're using security as a cover for illicit or illegal or even treasonous activities.
The members of Congress didn't have the detailed information of the precise location.
Where they keep the bodies, the craft, the debris, all the evidence that we've been searching for the last 80 years.
He knew how to keep a secret. Secrets were his stock in trade.
They're literally making their own money to fund their own projects.
We have a source currently in the deep black world.
It doesn't matter if you're president of the United States, you're not going to talk about that.
There was this large monolithic slab. Looked like it was elevated off of the ground.
It is traumatic.
Look, this is the most top secret shit you've ever heard of.